All right, guys, this is just going to be a quick video about my G8 due to massive requests. So the most common question I get everywhere, whether it be on YouTube, on TikTok, out at car shows or car meets or just wherever, what's done to the car. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to show you what's done to it. I have a list written out. I've had this list written out for a long time, everything that's done to the car, and it's obviously a massive list. So that's why it's hard for me to answer this question to most people, because my quick go-to answer is it's fully built. Let me tell you what's not done. Factory rear end, it's 292 rear end, and factory rear axles. Everything else is modified. And then people have question, what's the cam? What's the supercharger? What'd you do to beef it up? So basically, let's get into it and pop the hood and let me read you off this list. All right, guys, and here it is. Let me start with the, engine and bottom end, and we'll go from there. So it is an LS2 block. My calculated compression is 10.36 to 1. I do have a K1 Technologies crank. It is a forged crankshaft. The LS2 block is the aluminum block. I bought it brand new from Summit Racing. It did come with the cam bearings pre-installed. I got King main bearings, King rod bearings, Cali Compstar H-beam rods, Wiseco Pro Series forged pistons, Wiseco Pro Series rings and pins. Let's see, ARP head studs and main studs, port and polished LS3 heads with exhaust and intake valves from the LS3. I got the RCR, that's the Rick Crawford Racing cam. It is a custom grind from Rick Crawford himself. I am friends with him on Facebook, and I just, contacted him, and he gave me a custom spec. My specs to my cam are 223, 239 duration, 0.626, 0.629 lift, and the lobe separation angle is 116 plus 2. I do have a forced induction blower spacer. So it's like a plastic piece underneath the blower. I did have a lid spacer underneath the lid too, but I took that off just for hood clearance issues. As you can see, I did cut the hood so that the factory hood can close underneath the supercharger with how high it sits. And then I have BTR dual valve springs, the Comp Cam Trunnion kit, LS7 lifters, LS9 multi-layer steel head gasket. I have the improved racing oil pan baffle. Let's see here. See, I got this list for you guys. Let me show you. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to tell you all the exterior, interior stuff, but engine stuff, that's what this video is about. I got the Joker's Performance Supercharger. That is the 5-axis CNC full tilt ported LSA Supercharger. It was a brand new supercharger, not a rebuilt one. I have the ZL1 lid. Obviously, if you can't tell by the ribs, that is the ZL1 LSA Supercharger lid. And I do have the reinforced brick in there because the factory brick under high boost is known to collapse. I have the Nick Williams throttle body. That's the Nick Williams 103 millimeter throttle body. I have the ZPE supercharger pulley on the upper. That's only a 2.65 and it's a 10 rib. The reason I did 2.65, because you can go smaller, is because I chose to go bigger on the crank. See, 10.0 inch, that's a 10-inch custom dedicated motorsports 10 rib crankshaft pulley. So they probably get me around, I think when I first hit it, I see like 17, 18, and then at the top of the RPM, I get 20 PSI out of the supercharger. I have an ATI Super Damper Harmonic Balancer. I have the Gates. That's a Gates HD 10 rib belt. I have the Roto Fab 5-inch intake with the LS7 MAF, the LS3 water pump, LSA valve covers and coils. I have the Cook's 2-inch. Let me see if I can show you these headers. You probably can't see them, but they are Cook's long tubes. Yeah, you can't really see them, but they are the 2-inch primary. the big boys that were custom order in a specific batch. They don't make them, you know, all the time. They only make them in batch when people demand. The Solo Performance exhaust. I have the Solo Mach Catback 3-inch. I have the Mighty Mouse catch can, if you can't see it right there next to the fuse block. That's the Mighty Mouse catch can kit. And then I have the forced induction interchiller kit. So I do not have a front mount heat exchanger anymore. I have a interchiller kit which uses the AC system. When I turn the AC on, it intercools the intercooler fluid, like it cools it down using the air conditioning system. All right, and before I get to transmission, let's do fuel system. By the way, these are custom. You see the Pontiac logo etched in these projector lenses, and these things light up white and then they flash orange when you turn. These headlights are freaking great. So fuel system, if you can't see, it says 4 right there. I have the 4 Innovations twin 450 pump with a return. I have the flex fuel wiring kit and a flex fuel sensor. I have the 4 Innovations LSA fuel rail in there, if you can't see. I have the Injector Dynamics, the ID 1300 fuel injectors, Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. I think that is on the other side. Pretty much that's it. You know, everything else is basic stuff. I got the 180 degree thermostat. I have a half circle PNR weld 7-gallon trunk mount ice tank. The EMP pump for the ice tank is reprogrammed and custom mounted to the ice tank. So that's pretty cool. And then real quick, we'll do some visuals. I do have the Brembo 6-piston brakes up here with, you know, the HSV logo on them. I got the weld wheels. There's the tire size for anyone who wants to know. 245, 45, 18 on the front. And then here's the back. On the back, I got M&H Racemaster tires. These are 275, 50, 17s. I do have upgraded brakes on the back too. They are 4-piston Brembo brakes on the back. Obviously, these are the weld forged wheels. Also, the I think these are the SR17s. And then let's get to the back before I tell you the transmission build. So in the back, obviously I got the LED lights, tail lights. I got the carbon fiber deck lid. I got the Holden. This thing is on a Holden. They don't come on G8s. It's just like a little trim piece on the trunk. And then, you know, the GXP diffuser, which is super easy to get as far as I'm aware. Obviously I haven't looked in a long time. Okay, so the transmission is a CDT, which is a Circle D transmission, level 4, 6L80 performance trans. It is rated for 1,000 horsepower. You know, I don't know if it can handle that. My car is just over 8, so I thought that was, you know, a pretty good, solid, you know, build. And then I have the Circle D Specialties Pro Series billet triple disc torque converter. It is a custom torque converter from Rick Crawford, spec'd by him. I would say it's around like 35 to 3800 stall, but Rick Crawford specs his torque converters differently because he kind of has them built a little bit tight. The DSS aluminum drive shaft, which is drive shaft shop. I have the TCI flex plate. And then in the front, literally behind the passenger side fog light, behind that hole is it's like tilted at an angle instead of straight up. It's tilted at an angle. The trans cooler with a custom mounted fan. And I have a fan switch in the car. So if it does get hot, I just turn the fan on and it gives the trans a nice cool. And then obviously, like I told you in the beginning, I do have OEM, the GM 292 rear end and OEM GXP axles in the back. So pretty much that's the build, guys. If you have any questions or you want me to do further videos, just let me know. You know, I just wanted to do this video to answer everyone's questions. I get this question so often and there's so much to the list. Obviously, I didn't tell you everything. I got interior mods like, you know, stereo and the HVAC system, steering wheel stuff. You know, I have exterior stuff. I have suspension and brake stuff. You know, there's just a huge list. So that's everything that's done. If you got any questions, you know, just drop them in the comments. I'll either answer you in the comments or I'll make a whole nother video just for you. And if you like the video, you know, give me a like and I'd appreciate a subscribe. All right, thanks guys.